Shami Yashar'AL, AHAYAH, Alahyanawah, Accad. Shabbat Shalawam, Barak, Athah, Qam Yashar'AL. Welcome to Word War 3. Today's reference will be Matthew chapter 6, verse 7, and Jeremiah 10, verse 2. And this message will be entitled Patriotic Witchcraft or Education. Now, the quick note, the democratic Republican process of law was once a force of law on the indigenous populations, the indigenous people of what is called the Western Hemisphere. Today, this form of law is accepted because the force behind it managed to get national or nation after nation to accept it. Again, as they're getting nation after nation to accept it as a unification instrument. Now, Greco-Roman law and its daughter, Christian philosophy, was forced on the original indigenous peoples of the earth. Yet you Negros will still favor the philosophy and entrapment of a government beast system whose representatives still exclude your tribal or national pursuit of happiness. And again, Greco-Roman law consisted of slavery, enslaving other nations of people. Check their history out. And Christianity is the adoption of all religions into one, the unification of religions. That is the baseline, the basis of Christianity in Europe. And who spreaded this Greco-Roman law and Christianity? Europeans. Now, before I continue, Indigenous Hebrew Israelite Awakening is not a racist hate group. We simply live here. All the things created in chattel slavery, colonial slavery, or United States slavery, which slaves and descendants of former slaves are demanded to trust. The slave identification passport or slave tags, which is a state ID, driver's license. Taxation, which was created in slavery. During slavery, the slaves were the actual head tax. The Internal Revenue Service, IRS, was created during slavery. The United States dollar, fiat or ancestral paper worship currency, paper worship. Images, banner worship or flag worship, the banner of your nationality or flag worship. And it's one of the reasons why black people are being targeted for, reverse racism, because some of us, I won't include myself as being black, but people who are called black are being targeted because they don't want to salute the flag, or they don't want to pledge of allegiance, or, do the cultural practice, the same things that, what we call the heathens are doing. Now, and again, that's banner worship. Or law enforcement, which was created in slavery, as the slave catchers, the paddy wagoners. They still doing the same thing. They tell you it's their job to kill black people. That's what's happening today. It happened in the past and it's happening today. Now, folks, the Department of Education is one of those that was created after slavery, because during slavery, our Negro ancestors, our Negro and Indian and indigenous ancestors were not allowed to read or write. It was illegal. Department of Education is a governing tool that is clearly unconstitutional. Your Negro forebears were both terrorized or killed for simply having a book in their possession. At the same time, the colonials were learning how to imply the second title of Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. And that second title was the preservation of favored races. And they put this ideology, they put this idea into every sector of education: mathematics, science, chemistry, biology. They put this preservation of favored races in every part of education you can think of. Yet your immediate forebears told you who you really are. You tired of listening to those who taught you, erroneously? Listen to what your immediate forebears tried to tell you. Malcolm X, aka Malcolm Little, or El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, he said, "You are the people of the book." He said that. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., also known as Michael King Jr., he said that the Negro is still not free. And he said that the Negroes are held in exile in his own land. These are the things that your immediate forebears said about you Negroes. Really. These two men were murdered or assassinated by the same murderous constitutional rights systems which has the power to teach you by unconstitutional education. Even today, the government has spent 20 years of war in Iraq and Afghanistan, to give the Middle East what they call freedom. Then turn and say that it's their law to kill or erroneously execute your Negro loved ones mercilessly. Even current representatives of the United States government is teaching that no reparation money is available for correction, but they have all this money to go give freedom to other countries. The final thing that I want to say is that all of this evil that is going on and the signs of the heavens is here. When will you niggas wake up? When will you Negroes wake up? Come on. I am a Hebrew Israelite. I'm a conscientious objector, a documented conscientious objector, and an administrator of peace. Indigenous Hebrew Israelite out.